Hi, Kutha here, and this is a video response to. Hopefully, I don't massacre part of your name. I'm trying to sound it out phonetically, um, but this is a video response to Eden Astardi. I hope I got that right. Like I said, I'm not trying to massacre your name. I just the spelling is a little unfamiliar. And so if I got it wrong, I apologize for that. And but like I said, I watched your one video entitled "Eden discusses the eye and the vortex," where it definitely seemed like a lot of things you were talking about was um, how the symbology of that to you, um, and your reasoning behind it. Um, Now, as I said before, in a couple private messages that we sent back and forth to each other, spirituality is something that's always kind of interested me. Um, but I can't really say that I'm a very spiritual person. Um, Main reason why is because um, I probably base myself too much in what would basically I would assume is the mundane world. To pay my bills and to get to work, get home, you know, uh, things like that. Um, I don't think too much in terms of spirituality a lot of times, which is probably my own fault there. Like I said, it's always interested me, and I've always wanted to look into it a little bit more. And from various martial arts trainings I've had, there is definitely the spiritual side to it, but instead of like exploring the spiritual side, I looked more into the medical basis on it to see what the impact of various strikes in the martial arts did to a body, so that way I knew what I was doing and what I was aiming for as a martial artist. So um, like I said, this the spirituality, was not something that I looked into on these things, and it's not something that I really looked into a whole bunch. It's only really like within the past like 2-3 years that I've actually been looking into the more spiritual side of things. Um, just because the mundane views on it are not, um, you know, you can deal with it. I mean, the mundane will get you by because you know what you have to do in terms of the mundane, but um, I do think there has to be a little bit more to it than that. So, and when you said, hey, watch my video, my main video on my page, and so I did, and from a spiritual point of view, like I really can't even offer an opinion on that. I, like I said, am probably about as spiritual as a rock. So, but I did understand a lot of things you were saying about it. You know, how the vortex does represent, if I remember correctly, represents life and both the light and dark sides of things as we see them. And you gave several examples for your reasoning on this, and it definitely does when you take those into account and you start taking a look around. You can see those things pretty readily if all you do is look for them. You know, from the oceans, the conch, the nautilus, um, which they have these spirals just in their natural form. This is how they live. This is what they do to survive. The conch, And like I said, in the nautilus, their shells in those spiral forms, this is what gives them their protection and allows them to go through life. You know, to what would probably be considered more of a natural but maybe darker side to it, tornadoes and hurricanes. I mean, I'm sure you've seen pictures on the Weather Channel or the local weather where they show it from a satellite view and how it is just a giant vortex. You know, I mean, hurricanes even more so over tornadoes, but both of them are just these giant vortexes of weather activity that have, I mean, whenever they show up in their wake is literally, just destruction in their path. And I guess you could consider that maybe like a dark aspect of the spiral of, you know, the eye and the vortex, because it's an interesting little thing when you look at it too, because of when they talk about, like, say, the eye and the vortex, or uh, eye and the storm, shall we say. The eye and the storm is always the calmest point. This is the all the things going around it, but yet there's a center of calmness inside of that. Like I said, it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely food for thought when you take a look at it, and then when you start applying it to other things, like, say, as you point out, your example with Jesus, where, are we going to see that dark side pop up sooner or later? Because all they've ever done is try to portray Jesus as this, insane holy man who just there is no evil or anything like that, which by the Bible is actually to an extent not true, because Jesus has fallen into what in the Bible what would be considered like a depression after the Last Supper, to where he had a moment of weakness and prayed to God because he was scared, which a lot of people would consider a decidedly negative emotion for him to have, and also a very, very human one. But there was also the incident in, can't quite remember the name of the city that was mentioned in the Bible, but where Jesus basically went off because he came to a church and found they had turned it into a marketplace, basically, and he went in and destroyed it, which is a violent reaction from an otherwise very, very peaceful man who, by the Bible's words, he was performing miracles, so. Which is definitely there, which showcases, both the light and dark side, But, I do agree with you that they did actually do a lot. The Christian Church, the Vatican, whatever, did a lot to try to make these things, to downplay these things, because, I mean, the Bible does say that, yeah, he's the Son of God, but he's there in human form. So as a human, he had these feelings, he had these emotions. He may have been really, really good at suppressing them, but it doesn't mean that he succeeded all the time, And like I said, I mean, I hope that I'm interpreting what you said correctly, I guess. I mean, because like I said, spirituality is just not my thing. I want to know more about it, but, I mean, I'm a novice at best. So, anyway, that was just my thoughts on it, and I just wanted to share those with you. So, thanks for taking time to hear me out, and hopefully I'll hear back from you. Take it easy. Thanks for listening.